Hello and welcome to English EchoLingo. I'm Mike, and I am truly glad you've joined me today. We are going to explore a mystery that affects millions of English learners around the world. It's a feeling I hear about every single day, and perhaps you've felt it too. It goes like this: you sit down to watch a movie in English, and you understand most of it. You listen to a podcast, and you follow the story. You read an article, and the meaning is clear. But then, the moment someone looks you in the eye and asks you a direct question in English, everything changes. Your heart beats faster. Your mind becomes a blank white wall. The words that were just in your head a moment ago suddenly vanish, and you find yourself struggling to say even a simple sentence. If this sounds familiar, I want you to take a deep breath and listen closely. You are not failing. You are not bad at English. What you are experiencing is a very specific gap between two different functions of the human brain. Today, we are going to close that gap. We are moving away from being a silent observer and stepping into the role of an active speaker. I'm going to show you exactly why your brain freezes and, more importantly, I'm going to give you the logical, practical tools to fix it. This is about turning your passive knowledge into an active skill. So, find a comfortable spot. Focus your mind, and let's dive into the mechanics of speaking. To understand why you can understand but not speak, we have to look at how the brain processes language. There is a fundamental difference between passive recognition and active production. When you listen or read, you are in a state of reception. Your brain is a net-catching fish. The grammar is already there. The vocabulary is provided, and all you have to do is recognize the patterns. It is a relatively low-energy task for your brain. However, speaking is an entirely different biological and cognitive process. When you speak, you are the builder. You have to go into your mental warehouse, find the right materials, cut them to size, and put them together in a way that doesn't fall down, and you have to do it in milliseconds while someone is waiting for you. Think of it like the difference between watching a professional chef cook a meal and trying to cook that same meal yourself in a busy restaurant. Watching is easy. Doing it under pressure requires a completely different set of muscles. Many learners spend 90% of their time watching the chef, listening in, reading, and then they wonder why they can't cook when the stove is hot. We have to stop treating English like a history subject. You study and start treating it like a sport you practice. You don't learn to swim by reading a book about water. You learn to swim by getting wet and moving your arms. One of the biggest walls standing in your way isn't your vocabulary, it's your desire to be perfect. I see this in intelligent, high-achieving learners everywhere. You don't want to sound like a child. You don't want to make a mistake with a preposition or a verb tense. But here is the logical truth: perfection is the enemy of fluency. If you wait until your grammar is 100% correct before you speak, you will be silent forever. In the world of communication, clarity is much more important than accuracy. Let's look at a simple example. If you say, "Yesterday I go store," is it correct? No. The grammar is wrong. But does the listener understand exactly what happened? Yes, they do. The communication was successful. On the other hand, if you stay silent because you are trying to remember the past participle of a verb, the communication has failed completely. I want you to adopt a new mantra: fluent with mistakes is better than silent with perfection. Your goal is to be understood, not to be a walking textbook. Even native speakers stumble. We repeat ourselves, we use the wrong words, and we fix our sentences as we go. When you give yourself permission to be messy, you take the pressure off your brain, which actually allows your brain to function more efficiently. Speak first, polish later. Now, how do we actually speed up the process of finding words? The secret lies in something called chunks. Most people learn English by memorizing lists of single words. This is a very slow way to build a house. If you learn word by word, your brain has to do a lot of work to glue them together using grammar rules. But if you learn in chunks, prefixed groups of words, the work is already done. Instead of just learning the word, decision, learn the chunk, I haven't made up my mind yet. Instead of learning the word, think, learn, if you ask me. When you use chunks, you aren't building a sentence from scratch. You are using a prefabricated block. It's faster, it sounds more natural, and it gives your brain a rest. While you think of the next part of your sentence, start listening for these patterns. When you hear a native speaker say something like, "to be honest with you," or "I was wondering if," don't just look at the words. Grab the whole phrase. Store it in your mind as one single unit of meaning. This is how you bypass the translation stage in your head and move directly into speaking mode. One of the most common complaints I hear is, "Mike, I have nobody to practice with." I understand that frustration, but in the modern world, it is no longer a valid excuse. You do not need a partner to develop the physical habit of speaking. You have yourself. I want to introduce you to a technique that changed my own language learning journey, the self-talk method. Your brain needs to be trained to turn thoughts into sounds. You can do this all day long by simply narrating your life. When you are making breakfast, say it out loud. "Okay, I'm going to make some eggs now." "Where is the frying pan?" "Ah, here it is." "I think I'll have some toast too." It might feel strange at first, but you are creating a private, zero-stress environment where your mouth gets used to moving in English patterns. You are building the muscle memory. When you are alone, there is no judgment. There is no fear of looking silly. You can trip over your words, try again, and experiment with new phrases. This constant output trains your brain to keep English near the surface of your mind, ready to be used at a moment's notice. Speaking of having no partner, we are living in the golden age of technology for language learners. We now have access to artificial intelligence that can act as a 24-hour, infinite patience conversation partner. Tools like ChatGPT or specialized AI voice assistants are revolutionizing how we practice. The beauty of an AI is that it doesn't get bored, it doesn't judge you, and it can adapt to your level. You can tell an AI, "I want to practice ordering food at a restaurant. You be the waiter, I'll be the customer. Please correct my mistakes gently." This allows you to simulate real-world social pressure without the actual social risk. It's like a flight simulator for pilots. You get to crash the plane as many times as you want in the simulation, so that when you fly the real plane, you are calm and prepared. Use these tools not just to look up grammar rules, but to have actual back-and-forth exchanges. The more you talk to an AI, the more you realize that you can express your thoughts and that realization is the foundation of confidence. As we move into more advanced training, I want to give you a specific exercise to boost your processing speed. It's called the 4-3-2 technique. It's a bit like interval training for your brain. Here's how it works. Pick a topic, any topic. Maybe it's a story about your childhood or an explanation of your job. First, talk about that topic for 4 minutes. Speak at a comfortable pace, include details, and don't worry about time. Now, immediately talk about the exact same topic again. But you only have 3 minutes. You have to be slightly faster and more concise. Finally, do it one last time in only 2 minutes. By the third time, your brain has stopped searching for the words, because it already found them in the first round. Now, it's focusing purely on the delivery. You'll find that in the 2-minute round, you are speaking with a level of fluency and rhythm that you didn't know you had. You are teaching your brain to discard the filler and get straight to the point. It is one of the most effective ways to break through a plateau. Finally, I want you to practice the art of sentence expansion. This is about being flexible. Take a very simple sentence, like, I like coffee. Now, push it. I like drinking coffee in the morning. Push it further. I really enjoy drinking hot coffee in the morning because it helps me wake up. Now, change the perspective. My wife doesn't like coffee as much as I do. Now, change the time. I used to drink tea, but now I've become a coffee lover. By taking one core idea and stretching it, twisting it, and turning it, you are learning how to navigate the English language. Like a driver who knows all the backstreets of a city. You aren't just following a GPS, you are in control. This flexibility is what true fluency looks like. It's not about knowing the most difficult words in the dictionary. It's about being able to do a lot with the simple words you already know. As we wrap up today's session at English EchoLingo, I want you to remember that the bridge between understanding and speaking is built with your own voice. It is a physical path that you must walk every day. Don't wait for a special occasion to speak English. You are moving one step closer to the person you want to become, a person who speaks with clarity, confidence, and ease. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. Keep practicing. Keep making mistakes, and above all, keep speaking. This is Mike, signing off. I'll see you in the next episode.